There was a man named Urias. He was not a prophet. He did not speak to crowds. He performed no miracles. He was simply faithful. Urias woke up before sunrise. He walked through stone streets still cold from the night, while the city slowly came to life. His hands knew the weight of work and the quiet of unanswered prayers. He served in the temple, caring for what no one noticed, cleaning, preparing, organizing, so that others could minister. And he did it with joy. Urias believed God saw him, even when no one else did. Since childhood, he had heard stories of miracles, healings, deliverance, doors opening overnight. He believed every one of them, and quietly he hoped that one day God would look at him too. But life kept moving, without interruption. Years passed. Dreams stayed stored away. He waited for change, for a sign, for something that would say it was worth it. Nothing came. Still, Urias continued. He served, he prayed, he helped, he listened. Outwardly, he seemed strong. Inside, he was growing tired. At night, when the temple emptied and silence filled the air, Urias stayed behind. He sat on the cold floor, leaned against the wall, and closed his eyes. "God, I'm here," he whispered. He didn't ask for wealth. He didn't ask for recognition. He just wanted to know if God saw him. The sky remained quiet. After that night, something shifted. Everything on the outside stayed the same. But inside, the heart felt heavier. The days began to feel identical. Every prayer seemed to return empty. He listened as others shared testimonies, quick answers, open doors, visible miracles. Urias smiled, but something tightened inside. One day, a young man came to the temple, in tears. He had lost everything. Urias placed a hand on his shoulder and said words he had spoken many times before. "Trust. God sees." And suddenly, the weight of those words fell back on him. Does he? Time passed. The weariness grew. Others advanced. They were seen. They were remembered. Urias remained invisible. Faith had not left him, but it was tired, very tired. One night, he knelt to pray. No words came, only silent tears, no anger, no shouting, just a quiet confession. "I don't know how much longer I can keep going." He stayed. He remained faithful, even afraid his story might end without answers, without miracles, without explanation. And then one morning, Urias rose as usual. No sign, no change, no miracle. But that day, he made a quiet decision. He would continue. Not because he expected something, but because loving God still made sense. Days passed, then years. Urias grew old, serving. And the miracle he waited for never came. Until one afternoon, his body grew weak. He sat in the shade of the temple and closed his eyes. No fear, no regret, only peace. Some young men nearby approached him. They knew him, not for great acts, but for constancy. One of them knelt and said softly, "Watching you taught me not to give up." Another said, "When God felt distant, you showed us how to keep going." Urias smiled, and in that moment, he understood. The miracle was never something he needed to see. The miracle was who he became while waiting. Urias closed his eyes for the last time. Without answers, but without doubt, he was faithful, and that was enough. Because not every faithful life is rewarded with visible miracles. Some are rewarded with legacy. And maybe that's the hardest truth to accept, that some stories don't end with miracles. They end with a faith that didn't need one to remain alive. And maybe, if you are still faithful today without seeing answers, God is writing the same kind of story in you, one that heaven understands, even when the earth does not.